you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and welcome to my house. Baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go. Welcome to my house. Play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Morning comes and you know what you want to stay.
We are one episode away from Death and Defiance, and this is that episode. Thank you for joining me. D-Roll here with you on commentary, and what a night we have for you. Apologies for the wait, but it will be well worth it here tonight. Another episode of Wildcats is headed your way. As I said, the road to Death and Defiance continues. It's coming up very, very soon, but first, we have a huge night of action, including our main event, Jaiden and Kieva Andrews coming out tonight. Also, Beatrix Decker and Ovanna Morgan are going to be face-to-face before their big title match on the next episode. We have a interesting tag team match that I will get into coming up here as well. And speaking of tag teams, we're going to get closer and closer as we are looking to determine number one contenders for SugarCast Tag Team Championships, which I will give an update on SugarCast here in a bit. There's going to be a fatal four-way featuring four halves of teams that have been taking each other to the limit over the last couple of episodes. But right now, speaking of taking to the limit, Suki is making her way out to the ring to take on the current DCA Goddess Champion, Megan Van Horn. These two, no strangers to one another, being part of Wrestle Parade, but tonight they are going one-on-one. Megan Van Horn, of course, winning that championship, the vacant Goddess Championship, at the 12-year anniversary in a method that a lot of people really didn't appreciate, but Megan Van Horn says she did exactly what she said she was going to do, and that was anything it takes to win the Goddess Championship, and that's exactly what happened. And whether you like how she did it or not, the American Goddess is now the champion, and she will be waiting for her first challenger after Death and Defiance, because at Death and Defiance it will be Celeste Mira, Lauren Richfield, Jamie Fury, and Beryl Bedlam in a fatal four-way match where the winner will be the first woman to challenge for that championship. And that match will take place, by the way, at our next, not the one coming up, but the next episodic special, which will be Shattered Midnight. That will be where Megan Van Horn will defend her championship. That will be episode 234. But tonight, 229, we're getting into this match, and this is a very literal David versus Goliath situation, as you can see the size difference between Megan Van Horn and Suki. And again, this isn't the same Megan Van Horn that was here in DCA in the past. This is a completely different woman. This is a completely changed woman. No longer associated with Mari Pa, no longer associating herself with a pirate. She is, as she says she is, the American Goddess. And she is looking to steamroll this division with an iron fist and prove her legacy to be exactly what it has always been known to be throughout this history of this promotion, this business, I should say. But don't count Suki out. She has proven herself to be a very dangerous woman, not just in Wrestle Parade, but here in DCA as well. So you cannot count her out. But yes, tonight we are going to have a fatal four-way, a very interesting fatal four-way match. Later on tonight, 4 halves of teams in the Wildcats tag division that have been staking their claim more or less to be the #1 contenders for the tag team titles are going to be at it here. Wait a minute, look at this big knee in the corner by Megan Van Horn into the cover here. 1, 2, no. It will be Envy Price, Ringo. Envy Price representing American Obsession, Ringo representing Siren Song, Oseko representing her team with Akiko Nakano, and Reiko Hinamoto, who's representing her team with Sakura Hagiwara. Those 4 will be going at it in a 4-way match tonight. As Megan's going for another cover here on Suki. There's 2 and no. And Shazine Freya has told me to announce that there will be a resolution to this tag team contenders situation coming up at Death and Defiance. So she will have an announcement about that on the next episode. And Sugarcast will be back at Shattered Midnight to defend the titles against whoever Shazine decides, however she decides to name #1 contenders. As you see the power of Megan Van Horn with these consistent backdrops into another cover and only a 2. Also tonight, as I stated, the main event, Andy Jaiden will be taking on Kieva Andrews, 2 women who are looking to rise up as well in the Wildcats division, especially with Gateway to Heaven coming up, as Megan Van Horn gets right up from that German and hits a power slam. Hooking the leg, and no. And that interesting tag match I mentioned before, it's going to be Lauren Richfield and Beryl Bedlam teaming up to take on Jamie Fury and Celeste Mira. And the caveat to that match is this: if any member of that team does not cooperate during the match, if they walk out on their opponent, if they attack their opponent, if they attack their partner, I should say, if they walk out on their partner, then they are out of that 4-way match at Death and Defiance. So, for instance, let's say Lauren Richfield decides she doesn't want to team with Beryl anymore, walks out on the match, then Lauren's out, and it'll be a triple threat at Death and Defiance. That's the terms of the agreement for all 4 of these women, as Suki has taken a chunk out of Megan Van Horn, trying to anyway. And look at this, stomping on the midsection of the Goddess Champion. Suki is not one to be underestimated, that's for sure. She will take advantage of any opportunity given to her. She is known for that. As now look at this, in the corner with the elbow and a bulldog. And now Suki's going up top, looking to take it at high risk here. And a neck breaker from the top rope takes the Goddess Champion off her feet into the cover, but only a 1 count. Not enough damage done just yet. Plus tonight, Miyako Yukimura is back in action, as she will be taking on Dani Rojas, who made a challenge. Backbreaker. Dani Rojas made a challenge to Ariane Sophie Jones for a 3rd match between them, whether it be for the Diamonds Championship or not. Of course, Ariane's got not just Trinity to worry about, but also Shelly Oliver, who made her intentions pretty clear that she wants to go after the Diamonds Championship as well. that title becoming a very sought-after championship here in DCA. And Miyako, of course, having her issues with the Lotus Collective, which, speaking of which, Suzuka will be defending the Fever Championship against Kite Young at Death and Defiance. And you know the rest of the Lotus Collective are probably going to be somewhere nearby. Flatliner by Suki. Quickly into another cover, trying to keep Megan down, but she can only keep getting a 1 count. But thing about Suki is she's not going to quit until you physically beat her down so much that she can't stand up anymore. X-Plex by Suki. Took a lot of strength to get her up for that. This time finally getting a 2. So it is working. Her offense is working. But for how much longer? Moonsault. No, a corkscrew senton. Trying to drive all the air out of Megan's body. That might be the only way she can keep her down long enough. She still only gets a 2 count. Went for the neck snap, but Megan rolled out of the way. Megan now with a shoulder tackle just trucks her. And went for the knee, but nobody home for it. Suki now. Spider's web pin. 1, 2, no. And now kitchen sink. Again, I think Suki's strategy is just to drive all the air out of Megan Van Horn long enough to get her down for a 3 count. And that might be the smartest thing she can do right now. Just wear out that gas tank and keep her down long enough for 3 afterward. But that's a hard thing to do against this new Megan Van Horn. If we were talking about Pirate Life Megan Van Horn, Suki would have had an easier time with her. Oh, no disrespect. But this is a completely different woman, as you can see right there with that gut-wrench suplex. And now, what is this? Good Lord, Fisherman Buster. Into the cover, hooking the leg, and at 2.5, Suki kicks out. And Megan can't get frustrated here. She has to know that Suki was going to be a tough out. They know each other well from Wrestle Parade. So it's not like Megan wasn't aware of this. Another flatliner. And now big drop kick avoided. And now, oh no. We know what's coming here. Liberty's torch whip, that big lariat. One mistake was all it took for Megan Van Horn to take advantage. What a match, but Megan Van Horn once again showing her strength. Look at this, missing that, and then big German setting it up into the big lariat. And that was all it took for the 1, the 2, and the 3. And now Megan Van Horn will bide her time and see whether Lauren Richfield, Jamie Fury, Beryl Bedlam, or Celeste Amira will challenge her at Shattered Midnight with the Goddess Championship on the line. The American Goddess is in command right now as the champion.
leave anything on your front lawn, under your porch, on the side of the highway, where you can store all that stuff my way, down here at Jones Big Ass Truck Rental and Car Storage. I don't think y'all understand me when I tell you I stole anything. What's in this box? I don't know. It's not my business. Briefcase full of fake money. Not my business. This fan used to oscillate. It don't oscillate no more. Oscillated, all gone, right here at Jones Big Ass Warehouse and Storage Facility Truck Rental. Your mother-in-law kind of skinny. I can fold her up, put her on my back on a bicycle, and bring her down on this motorcycle. Come on down here and bring all you got that you don't want. PVC valve, bees, please, CDs from your failed speed metal band. Somebody left a cone. You knew damn well when you dropped that CD, nobody gonna want to buy it. And put it right here in this here building for the low price of $10.99 a month. You can't beat that. Hell, you can't feed a kid in Africa for that. You can't stop me. I can only be contained. Nobody can slow me down. Storing shit all over the place. Don't matter to me. I don't give a damn what it is. Bring it on. Go ahead and give me a call or find me on them internets at www.jonesbigasstruckrentalstorage.com. That's JONES bigasstruckrentalstorage.com. Rebound. Watch out. Low post. Not only is this a bus, but this is a bus that a friend of mine escaped from prison in.
That was earlier today, an interview with Reiko Hinamoto before entering the building tonight, trying to get her thoughts on her team with Sakura Hagiwara and about the upcoming matchup we're about to see, where everyone in the tag division are gunning for Sugarcast. And I said it earlier, I promised an update on Sugarcast. Sugarcast will be back into DCA coming up at Shattered Midnight, where they will defend the tag team titles. The question is, who will they defend the championships against? Who will Bree George and SVR Sugar Kayla defend their belts against? We will find out soon, because again, as I mentioned in the first match, Shazeen Freya will be making an announcement about crowning #1 contenders on the next episode at Death and Defiance. So we're gonna see how that plays out. But right now, here comes the aforementioned Reiko Hinamoto, former Goddess champion here in DCA, former ACW Anime Championship Wrestling, by the way, Glamour X champion. She has done it all in this business, a legend in her own right. And she is now in the tag team ranks with Sakura Hagiwara. And speaking of a legend in their own right, and speaking of someone who knows Sakura very well, here comes a woman who you know has got to be a very distracted woman at the moment. No disrespect, but Oseko, she's not wrestled very many matches this year, in a year that she said would be her retirement year, which is, by the way, less than almost 2 months away. And between the issues that's going on with her family in UWL, more recently with Yuki Marie, and what's going on with Trinity, and what's going on with with her partner Akiko and Akira, and then what's going on with for lack of a better term, teasing her husband into something that I have already called for, and then when it happens, I'm going to be the first one jumping up and saying that I called it. Between all of that, she's a very distracted person. But hey, she knows about distraction. She just did it on Twitter for her husband. Nonetheless, here comes participant number 3 in Ringo, representing Siren Song. And this has got to be one of the biggest matches in Ringo's career, obviously. She is going up in that ring against 3 women who are all former world champions. Envy Price, current, well, and I guess in this case, she's the current Purgatory Pro Wrestling, formerly 3rd Street Wrestling, women's champion. So she's a current champion. A former ACW Glamorex champion in Reiko Hinamoto, and a former Queens of Wrestling and Goddess champion, not to mention her other titles, in Oseko. So Ringo in this match, you'd say, obviously is the underdog. And speaking of that current champion, here comes Envy Price representing American Obsession. And honestly, this whole thing for the entire tag division kicked off with American Obsession coming back and attacking Sugarcast. And that's the reason Sugarcast aren't here, is because of the attack at Redemption by American Obsession. And Envy Price and Ellie Rose clearly want to become 3-time Wildcats Tag Team Champions. They're not just a team in real life, if you want to put it in that kind of context. They're not just a team in reality because, you know, they're engaged and all. But it's a thing. It's not just for DCA. And Envy and Ellie want those belts back. They feel like they are the standard of this Wildcats tag team division. And back a few years ago, you can honestly say that that was the case. They were the standard of this division. They ran it with an iron fist. They beat, for instance, they had a legendary rivalry with the current Queens of Wrestling Tag Team Champions, the Arcadia Bay Ass Kickers. And we all remember that whole feud. But now 4 women are looking to up their team's chances of becoming #1 contenders. The bell rings and we are off. Fatal 4-way rules, no disqualification, no count out. The only way to win is by pinfall or submission in the ring. And you know Shazine Freya is watching this, and Lucinda Red Eye Fear, obviously. Both of those women are obviously looking to see who they feel deserves an opportunity. Double team by Oseko and Ringo. And Ringo's the kind of person that Oseko would love to mentor if she could. Well, maybe Ringo and Miharu also. And now Oseko and Reiko going at it. And this is going to be a little too close to call here, a little too chaotic at some points. So I apologize if it gets a little hectic here while I'm trying to call the action, but that's just how it is sometimes. Reverse DDT. And again, like I said before, this whole thing kicked off when American Obsession returned to DCA. Oh, wait a minute. Reiko with a jury crash on the chair. Shades of one of her rivals, Jury Sonata, with that. And then kicks Oseko in the back of the head. But like I said, this whole thing kicked off with Envy and Ellie coming back and attacking Sugarcast and taking them out of action. And ever since then, there's been a fire lit under the tag division after Envy and Ellie basically claimed that they were the rightful #1 contenders. You had Sakura and Reiko disputing that. You had Akiko and Oseko reforming. He had Siren Song, the Hated Gates, the Bombshell Club, and the Jersey Devils. You know, you have all these teams that are looking to become #1 contenders. So Oseko and Lucinda and Shazeen have a very hard task ahead of them to determine #1 contenders, that's for sure. And the referee was going for a pin, but Ringo, while she was attacking Oseko, accidentally clipped the referee, halting the count, and that could have been a 3 for Envy Price, but it was not on that occasion thanks to Ringo, and Envy is pissed about it. And I would say rightfully so. Of course, if you're Zahia Morgan, you wouldn't think that, because Zahia has always had an issue with American Obsession for some reason. He has an obsession with them, but it's a different kind. That's why he's barely on commentary. Anyway, off the ropes, big back elbow, and a drop kick. I think a lot of people didn't expect Ringo to come out with the hardware, I should say, but she's holding her own against 3 of the best to ever do it. And now, all 4 women in the ring again. And like I said, first pin or submission wins this thing. And I said Shazeen and Lucinda have got to be watching to see who possibly could earn themselves a championship match. And they're going to make that announcement on the next episode. What a kick by Envy. American Wasteland, perhaps. She's looking for it, and she hits it. But Oseko's in the ring, and she clearly sees her. And now Oseko, looking for something there. Envy couldn't make a pinfall because, oh God! Dragon suplex on the chair, and now the sunrise suplex on the Ringo. This has been, as advertised, a chaotic 4-way match. And it's not even chaotic, folks. But that's what's going down right now. Uh-oh. What is this? King Crusher on the chair. And now, Envy's in trouble. But Ringo trying to break it up, and that's exactly what she does. Big forearm. Oseko trying to get her wits about her on the outside. Rolls back in. Gets the chair out of Ringo's hands, but doesn't see Reiko behind her. And a arm drag. Kind of landed on the chair a little bit there, too. And now look at this. Reverse DDT onto Envy. Meanwhile, Reiko and Oseko going at it. That would be a hell of a one-on-one match if it hasn't happened already. And if it has happened already, I'd love to see it a second time. And now, well, nope, reversing. And Envy goes down. And Ringo with the chair. Again, trying to show that she belongs. And honestly, she's holding her own, like I said. She's in there with 3 former, or in the Envy's case, current world champions, and she's holding her own. Facebuster, but Reiko trying to break that up. Only a 1 count. And now a neck breaker by Ringo. Envy from behind. German suplex. Holds her up. Goes for a cover. I don't think. Oh, she did see Oseko there. And now she's going to take advantage and drop her on her head. And meanwhile, Ringo from behind. And now Ringo, is she going to drop her on her head? Yes! All these women very keen to dropping their opponents on their heads. But in this case, I don't blame them. Envy, moonsault. And meanwhile, Oseko's trying to snap the arm of Reiko. Kicks to the face of Ringo by Envy. This has been a hell of a fight. As advertised, as expected. And now, into the cover. Note, Oseko right there to break it up. And now Ringo getting out of the way of whatever Oseko had going. Meanwhile, Envy and Reiko going at it. And now no one for a pump handle perhaps. Big stomp by Ringo, but Envy coming right in with a Luthez press. Oseko might have been done, but now she's trying to take everybody out so that she can get the victory for her team. But Ringo looking for something there, but Oseko was in the way. And now Ringo, small package driver. And this might be the biggest win of Ringo's career. No! And now Ringo off the ropes, went for something, but Envy caught her. I don't know what Ringo was going for there, but it did not work out. And now Ringo again looking for it, but again, Envy sat up and gave her a foot to the face. A kick takes both Ringo and Envy for a loop. Tilt-a-whirl backbreaker by Reiko. Reiko gets kicked in the midsection. Envy back in the ring. And now Envy, big drop kick. Wait a minute. Ringo with another stomp to Oseko. And I don't think Envy sees Ringo behind her. Now she does neck breaker. Ringo can take advantage of this now. And yes, she is. She's going to try to pin Oseko, but Reiko right there to break it up. And again, that would have been a big, big win for Ringo if she was able to pin any one of these three. And now in the corner goes Envy. Envy sending Oseko back into the corner. Ringo going after Reiko and sends her into the opposite corner. Kick to the midsection now. Look at this. Playing a little dirty is Ringo. Ringo's never really been known to be doing any of that stuff, but in this case, I don't blame her. No disqualification. Out goes Oseko. And now can Reiko take advantage? Ringo going after Reiko again. Irish whip. Went for something there and nobody home. Envy from behind. Trying to take advantage. And now Envy, what's this? Throwing Reiko to the floor where Oseko meets her with a chair. And a shot right to the head. Oseko doing whatever it takes, taking a page out of Akiko's book, I guess. Big knee to the head by Ringo. Forearm, down goes Oseko. And now Ringo, Shiranui connecting into the cover. Will she be able to pin Oseko? No. Now Envy coming back. But Ringo This is honestly, you got to be impressed with Ringo here tonight. She is giving it everything she's got. And she is proving that she can, oh my God. Well, she proved that she can take a chair to the face, but she also has been proving that she can hang with the best in the game here as Envy with a GTS. And I think she used that to win the women's championship over in 3rd Street. There's the sudden impact, and Reiko has no idea about it. Now she does. And now Reiko looking to tap Oseko out, but she doesn't notice Envy right there. And that's how quickly this matchup can end. Ringo now trying to get her bearings about her as meanwhile, wait a minute, what is this? Ringo hitting Envy's own American Obsession onto Oseko, and Ringo breaking up the pin as Reiko is trying to take advantage. Meanwhile, Envy is laid out on the floor. And again, if Ringo can take advantage of this will be the biggest win of her career. And now we're down to Oseko and Ringo, but Oseko taking advantage just with these kicks. Lethal. And she may have knocked Ringo out. Meanwhile, Envy trying to get back in the ring before it's too late, and it is. Oseko with an impressive win. A win that she might have desperately needed considering the issues that she has been having to deal with lately. Look at this combination. Just taking Ringo clear out of it. And Oseko did it before either Reiko or Envy could get back in the ring. And Oseko may have just built some momentum for her and her teammate Akiko toward a future tag title opportunity. But Akiko has got to stay focused on her no-holds-barred match with Akira Yukimura coming up at Death and Defiance. But a big, important win for Oseko nonetheless.
Those words coming from you.
What a night we have had so far here on Wildcats. We still have our main event to come. Kieva Andrews and Andy Jaiden one-on-one as Andy gets set for her match coming up against Destiny Williams, who we heard from just before the break at Death and Defiance in that rematch. But coming up next, a huge tag match as Jamie Fury teams with Celeste Mira to take on Lauren Richfield and Beryl Bedlam. Now, the interesting caveat to this match, if you weren't here earlier to hear about it, if any of the teammates don't cooperate in this match, for instance, if Jamie Fury decides she doesn't want to team with Celeste, she gets tired of dealing with it and walks out or attacks her during the match, then that's it. She's out of the match at Death and Defiance. And if it's a situation where both women attack each other during the match, they're both out. If it's like it's an intentional, deliberate attack during the match, they're both out. And we might as well just have a number one contenders one-on-one match at Death and Defiance at that point. So I don't foresee that happening, just considering the fact that the Goddess title means more to all four of these women. A championship belt means so much to all four of these women. They're not going to jeopardize that so close to this event. And if anybody has been chasing this Goddess title, it's this woman right here, the woman who created the Goddess Championship, the woman who birthed it into existence, more or less. Celeste Mira has held that champion, and remember, when she held the Goddess title, it wasn't even an official title. And when it became an official title, she lost. She lost to Dani Gibbons, and she has not held that championship in her hands officially since then. And to her, that's an injustice. To her, it's not complete. I mean, she's wanted the Wildcats championship. That's the reason she became, if you remember, she became the Goddess champion. She created that title because she felt like the Wildcats championship was being robbed from her. So she created a championship for herself to prove she was the best. And that championship just created into existence, eventually then birthed into what it has become now. But Celeste feels like that should be her, and she wants it back. But Jamie Fury wants it as well, and this woman wants it as well. The Canadian Amazon herself, Lauren Richfield, a woman, a former ZCW Women's World Champion, a woman who came back on the scene last season in DCA as a hit woman for Michiko Melandro and her little issues with Carmen Cortez, which of course Lauren Richfield has had history with Carmen as well, and issues with Carmen as well. And Carmen Cortez, by the way, her and Heather Ray have been banned from the building tonight because of what happened on the last episode where they were approaching the building. They got into a fight through the entire parking lot, and they were thrown out. And Shazine and Lucinda have promised that there will be a resolution to that at some point. And here comes the number one contender for the Queens of Wrestling Solar Star Championship. Beryl Bedlam. Beryl Bedlam won a contenders match at Queens of Wrestling Elevation, and at Prestige 8, she will challenge Bad Amy with that Solar Star Championship on the line. But you know for a fact, she would love to not only hold that title, but the Goddess title as well. But right now, she's got to stay focused on this match. She's got to stay focused on the task at hand. And you know Beryl Bedlam, she will take it, she will focus on the task at hand. She has wanted a shot at getting her hands on it, on all of these women, honestly, since this entire thing began. But here we go. Lauren and Jamie to kick it off. And this is going to be a powerhouse match. A powerhouse tag team brawl, to say the very least. All four of these women want to be Goddess Champion. But only one of these women will earn the right to face Megan Van Horn for that belt. And we're going to find out on the next Wildcats who that will be. And now big DDT by Lauren. Into a quick cover. Only a 1 count. And Lauren Richfield, I gotta say, whether you like her attitude or you don't, she's been stepping it up ever since she showed up in DCA. A lot of people didn't know why she sided with Michiko. A lot of people questioned why she did what she did, but I think it was mostly out of self-preservation for her career, if anything else, because she's no longer the ZZW Women's Champion. That honor belongs to Akira Yukimura, who, by the way, if you saw VW social media, you know that belt will be on the line at Prestige 8 against Alexis Voon, who has claimed that championship belt has been held hostage for the last 2.5 years. And now we have Celeste and Beryl in the ring together. Here we go. And again, these two similar in size and strength, in height, obviously, as you can see. Maybe Celeste has maybe an inch of her. Oh my God, what a slap by Beryl. And I don't think Celeste appreciated that too much. Celeste Amira, one of the most powerful women in all of VWU, but she's going up against a woman who has also made that claim and has proven it on more than one occasion. As you see now, the iron grip locked onto Beryl before slamming her to the mat. And now look at this, just delivering the strikes right to the #1 contender. And when you talk about 4 women that really want this championship, you're seeing it right here. 4 women that want to do nothing more than to be the Goddess Champion. And that is how far this belt has gone over these last few years. It's now, wait a minute, powerbomb maybe, but no, Celeste able to get out of it. A couple of right hands. And now Beryl, clothesline note. That lariat can come out of nowhere. That powerbomb can come out of nowhere. Aphrodite's descent can come out of nowhere. Excuse me, Aphrodite's blessing can come out of nowhere. And now Celeste with no choice but to tag Jamie back in. And now we got Jamie and Beryl, who Beryl just trucks her with a spear. Off the ropes and went for the lariat, but gets caught with an STO. And I'm just warning you now, folks, this match at Death and Defiance, it can go 20 minutes or it can go 10. It can go 30 minutes or it can go 5. That's how fast these 4 women can beat the hell out of each other, and one woman can get the pinfall or the submission. So don't be surprised if we have a long match or if we have one of the quickest in history. And now, spine buster by Lauren into a jackknife pin, but too close to the ropes. Off the ropes, going for belly to belly perhaps, but no. Jamie with an STO again. Oh, but setting up, and now Samoa drop. And a power slam. And again, this is what you can expect at Death and Defiance. 4 women who just absolutely want to beat the hell out of one another. That's all they care about. That's all that matters. They don't want anything else but to beat the hell out of each other until one woman is left standing. And that's why Shazine and Lucinda made the match that they did. Backdrop suplex. To attack each other's partners. They haven't tried to walk out on each other. So like I said before, this shows me that they really want to stay in that match coming up at Death and Defiance. They do not want to risk it. As you see Beryl now coming in and getting taken down by Celeste. And now Celeste is going after Lauren. Power slam positions, hot shot over the top rope, and then a clothesline that Beryl takes her down. And the Heavenly Goddess of Annihilation is going at it, but gets taken down by Beryl just as quickly. And now Beryl with an Emerald Flosion drops her on her head. There's 2 and no. And you see Jamie she's not really in a hurry to break up any pin. I mean, I can understand why. I mean, Jamie doesn't really necessarily like Celeste. This whole thing kicked off with those 2 in the first place. And now Celeste going at it with Beryl again. Beryl in trouble as now she's getting stomped out. What's she thinking here? Russian leg sweep. But Beryl now from behind, going for her trademark German suplexes. And hits a 3rd one. And Beryl is in control. And now taunting Jamie Fury on the other side of the ring. But that gave Celeste enough time for a flatliner. Didn't expect that. And Jamie reluctantly gets tagged in because I don't think Celeste really wanted a tag, but she knew she had to tag. And now, look at this. Jamie with the power into a spine buster. Jamie Fury giving some fury on Beryl right now. Nope, missing the kick. And now, oh, here we go. And there's the power bomb. You knew she was going to get one off in this match, and that's exactly what happened. There's two, and no. Just a 2 count. And again, all 4 of these women are going to be in the same ring at the same time. No tagging in and out. Coming up in just a short time for Death and Defiance. And the winner of that match, whoever survives it, I should say, is going to face Megan Van Horn at Shattered Midnight. As you see Beryl with a tense stare down, deciding whether to tag or not, and that's exactly what she does. And look at this teamwork by Beryl and Lauren. That I did not expect. Spinebuster Frog Splash combo only gets a 2. And Lauren is frustrated. But you saw Beryl just deciding whether to tag with Lauren or not, and then throwing Jamie all the way across the ring with a German suplex that only gets a 2. And again, you see Celeste doing what Jamie did earlier, not necessarily in a hurry to get in the ring, and she didn't even move at all, really, to get in the ring and break that pin up. At the end of the day, the only thing Celeste cares about at the end of the day is herself. And I would say the same thing about Lauren. But they are tagging out of necessity here tonight, not necessarily because they want to. Because they realize if they turn on the other, that's it. They're out of the Death and Defiance Contenders match. And Lauren, if you know her history, if there's one thing Lauren cares about other than herself, it's a nice payday. And at the end of the day, she knows if she can team with Beryl for a short period of time and get the win, that's more money in her pocket. 1, 2, no. And Celeste, whether you like her or not, feels the same way that Lauren does. The only difference between Celeste and Lauren is that Celeste didn't take a payday from Michiko Melandro. She didn't sell out. Yes, Celeste has done some horrible, dastardly things in this company, but Lauren Richfield has done the same, except in her case, she did it simply because it would bring her the fattest check in her checkbook. Lauren did it to become ZCW Women's Champion. She did it when she took a payday from Michiko Melandro to get her revenge on Carmen. And Beryl, in her case, she's just petty. Just like her brother. The Bedlams are petty. And they will admit that. They will have it will be written in the skies with an airplane that they're petty. They will not hide that fact. As now Celeste gets tagged back in, and now she's going immediately to the top rope. I don't know why, but Beryl running in, and maybe she didn't think she'd jump, but she exactly did. She did just that, I should say. And now, forearm by Celeste. Went for an elbow. And now, what is this? Going for a gut wrench maybe, but no. Celeste able to counter it. And oh no, Beryl countering. Oh, look at this. Look at the strength of Beryl. Bedlam with a kick. Shades of one of her arch rivals. And Elizabeth Preza with that speed kick. And now Celeste trying to get the advantage back in her favor. But doesn't get a drop kick. Beryl waiting, and now is she going for these Germans? Yes, she is. There's 2, and there's a third one taking Celeste down. And now Lauren gets tagged in. Lauren looking to finish the job. Nope. Celeste with a clothesline. And now off the ropes. Off the ropes again. Oh, and she inadvertently, Lauren got out of the way. And Celeste accidentally speared Jamie off the apron and then takes her out. Oh my God, her head hit the ropes. And Beryl is screaming at Lauren to tag her in. Lauren doesn't want to do it. But again, she knows if she does anything, she will get out of that match. And there's the Old Bay Lariat. Miscommunication by Jamie and Celeste allows Beryl and Lauren to get the win. Lauren got out of the way of that spear attempt, and that was all it took. Look at this. Lauren just dropping her on her neck on the ropes. And then Beryl screaming, literally screaming. You couldn't hear it through the camera, but Beryl was screaming at Lauren to tag her in. And Lauren realizing if she walks out, if she does anything against Beryl, she's out of the #1 contenders match, reluctantly tagged her in, allowing Beryl to get the Old Bay Lariat and score the win. And you know this isn't going to set well with Jamie Fury by any means after this. And Beryl and Lauren, they might be celebrating now, but in a short little while they're going to be opponents, and it'll be every woman for themselves when all 4 women will be in the same ring at the same time for that championship match. Oh, here we go. Like I said, Lauren Richfield only gives a damn about Lauren Richfield. And the match is over, so she realized she could take her shot, and that's exactly what she did. Lauren, the last woman standing. But will she be after Death and Defiance? That's the question. Lauren Richfield couldn't take her shot during the match, so she decided to take her shot after the match. Classic Lauren Richfield, wanting the attention to be all on her, and right now it very much is.
We rise with the dawn, hearts beating strong. We march on and on, where we belong. Through fire and pain, we break every chain. Nothing in vain, strength we attain. We are warriors, fighters and survivors. We stand tall, never will we fall. We are warriors, fighters and survivors. In the darkest night, we see the light. We're the fighters, we're survivors. We are warriors, fighters and survivors. We stand tall, never will we fall. We are
the ones that probably called for the Bombshell Club's demise, greatly exaggerated, because the Bombshell Club clearly are back, and they have targeted the Jersey Devils, the women who thought that they had ran Mercedes, Brittany, and Laura out of DCA, did not do so. And again, that just brings me back to the whole issues with the tag team division. Everyone wants their shot. Everyone wants to go after Sugar Cast. And I hope that Lucinda and Shazeen have a plan, a good plan for that situation. But right now we're getting into our next contest. Dani Rojas one-on-one with Miyako Yukimura for the first time ever, by the way. And Dani Rojas, I don't know if you hear it, but there's a smattering of cheers in here with some boos, because I don't think it's because of necessarily anything that Dani herself did. But then again, Dani recently gave Ariane Sophie Jones her respect, the respect that Ariane had been asking for, and then basically asked for a rematch, a third match between herself and Ariane. They're 1-1 against each other, whether it be for the championship, the Diamonds Championship, or not. Dani, of course, former Diamonds champion, and Ariane winning that belt from Dani at the anniversary special. And speaking of former champions, here comes the former Fever champion, Miyako Yukimura. A woman who you know has got the Lotus Collective on her mind. And you can tell too, because it's taken her a while to get out here. Normally she'd be out here by now. There you didn't see. Look at that. Look at that expression on Miyako's face. This has been one of the most trying times in Miyako Yukimura's career. And this is a woman who, she's made no bones about it. If you listen to her, if you've listened to her speak, she's nearing the end of her career than the beginning of it. She debuted in season 3, and she was, to many people, in the prime age of her career. But now, after taking a layoff and coming back, winning the Fever title a second time, but now having to deal with her own family issues, it's well been a different story for Miyako. And it's really been a tale of two family ideologies. You've got Miyako's view of how she views her family, and then you have how Izunami views the Yukimura family. And that's what this thing has been all about. And you can tell it's taking a toll, not just physically on her, but mentally on her. But right now she's got to stay focused on the task at hand. She's got to stay focused on Dani Rojas. And again, this is a first time ever match. As now suplex. No. Big boot to the face. Cover. And Miyako going right to work. And again, this is a big match for Miyako as well. Not just for Dani Rojas, who obviously wants to challenge for the Diamonds title again. Here's a cover off the side slam. Only a 2. It's not only a big match for Miyako, who wants to challenge again for that for the Fever title, but it's a big match for Dani, who wants to challenge again for the Diamonds title. Both of these women not just have title aspirations, but personal ones as well. And that is why this match is so important. And now, Dani, oh, look at this, trying to embarrass Miyako, putting her in a less than favorable position, at least in public. I know a certain champion, a certain Wildcats champion would appreciate that, but only if she did it, not the other way around. And it wouldn't be a kick. But that's neither here nor there right now. Dani Rojas is more interested in one thing, and that's getting the victory here tonight. She could care less about recreational activities. The only thing she cares about is getting this victory. And showing Ariane Sophie Jones that she is ready for a rematch if and when that happens. Right hand. Off the top. Big diving DDT. And into a cover. 2. No. Kick to the midsection. And now, belly-to-belly suplex. And a knee right afterward. Driving the knee right in the face. Oh, but now Miyako missing the knees. And now, Dani with a suplex. Nicely executed. And if there's one thing that Dani Rojas has done very well over these last number of weeks and months, over a year in fact, it is take advantage of other people's mistakes. And she has done that to perfection. Cover here. 1, 2, no. And a chop. And another one. And a third one. You can see the wheel starting to turn in Miyako's head right now. And what's Miyako thinking here? Trying to fly, perhaps. Trying to get a running start. Oh, but Dani catching her on the rebound. Dani caught her, which was a smart move. And now sends her into the post. Dani did the smart thing and waited for Miyako to get close to the ropes, and she took advantage of it. And now the former Diamonds champion is in the driver's seat once again. There's a cover and just a 2 count. And now Dani kicked to the midsection. What's she thinking here? Going for another suplex, but no. O'Connor roll by Miyako with a bridge. 2, no. And that went for a clothesline, but nobody there. Off the ropes, went for something, nobody home there for Dani. Big knee to the face by Miyako into a neck breaker. Nice combination. And now up top, what's she thinking here? Waiting for Dani to get up. Dani doesn't realize it. Double knees to the side of the head. Into the cover off the Meteora from the top, but just a 2 count again. Of course, stick around, folks, because we still have our main event to come. We still have Andy Jaiden one-on-one with Kieva Andrews. And we will hear from both Beatrix Decker and Ovanna Morgan before their Wildcats championship match at Death and Defiance. So stick around. We still got a lot of action left to go. Tell your friends, tell anybody you can that we are still on the air. If you can, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As you see here, Dani with a spiral bomb, Black Tiger bomb if you want to be more specific about it. There's two. No. And now Dani in control and clearly wanting to make a statement at the expense of Miyako. It is not looking good for the former Fever champion right now. And now, going for him. Wait a minute. I thought she was going for another power bomb. She hit a pile driver instead. And now, Viva Libertad not to be. Miyako catching the foot. And Miyako, Northern Light suplex. Two, no. Very nice on that Northern Lights, but it was not enough. Miyako went for the frog splash, but Dani was already rolling out of the way. Knee lift right to the head. Cover, two, no. And Dani frustrated. The last thing that Dani Rojas wants to do is be on a losing streak, especially considering how dominant she was just a short time ago. And big clothesline, short arm lariat. Miyako on the apron, but gets caught and into a triangle. Dani getting caught in a triangle. Enziguri not there. And Dani's going to take full advantage of that opportunity. Oh, went for a back suplex, nobody there. Knee. And from behind, another combination flatliner. Cover, two, no. And now Dani again, no. It has been back and forth between these two women from the get-go, and from a first-time ever perspective, it is living up to all the hype. Frog splash, this time she nails it. Perfectly done. Two and no. And Miyako, you know, has got to be on the lookout because the Lotus Collective could be anywhere nearby. And now, no, right hand. And there's the DDT again. One, two, no. And you can see the frustration starting to boil, starting to build in Dani Rojas. She thought she had it after that DDT, but again, the heart, the determination of Miyako coming to the forefront here. Oh no, wait a minute. Oh no. Viva Libertad from the middle rope. We've seen her use this before, but no. Miyako wise to it. And now a crossbody from Retro. If she had hit that DDT from the middle rope, it definitely would have been over. But Miyako, realizing the danger, sensed it. And now, no. Forearm by Dani. Dani now trying to come back with strikes of her own. And obviously, Dani trying her best. And now, crucifix pin, only a 2. Picking Miyako up, Irish whip into the ropes and out of the ring. And this is where Dani thrives, outside the ring. And now Dani with a no. Went for a knee, but Miyako well out of the way. And back inside the ring. Kick to the midsection. And no, countered by Miyako. Countered by Dani. Forearm. Back elbow. Big knee. And now Dani up top. Elbow drop. Did not connect. You can see the pain on Dani's face, I should say. And there's another flatliner. Clothesline. Dani getting up. No. Avoided that second clothesline. No. Kick avoided. Caught. And Miyako went for the forearm. Nobody there. Dani from behind. And Dani with a reverse scoop slam. Will she hit this cradle DDT? No. Trying to go for it a third time in this match, and gets a Northern Light suplex for trouble. Oh, knee right to the side of the head. That'll stop anybody. And another knee. She has been throwing those knees all match long, but then a shot to the midsection. And now Miyako looking for a bomb of her own. And now Empress Bomb. 1, 2, 3. One mistake was all it took. And the experience of Miyako coming into play right there took advantage of Dani missing that top rope maneuver and then hooking her up. And look at the impact of this Empress Bomb driving her down to the mat. And Miyako gets a much needed victory here tonight. And Miyako now, hopefully, is getting some of that confidence back. Especially as she's trying to turn her attention toward ending the cycle within her family and making it her vision for the Yukimura household. What a victory here for Miyako. And speaking of which,
now let's go.
We are back. This is Wildcats episode 229, and as you just saw, Suzuka laying out the gauntlet for a match at Shattered Midnight. A match, if I can be so blunt as to say it, sounds like a ultimate challenge, if you will. Miyako and the women basically who have been pursuing the Lotus Collective for months now, Yuki Marie, Morgan Rayncroft, and a fourth woman, whoever Miyako can find, I guess, to face the entire Lotus Collective. And if the Lotus Collective win, then that's it. They cannot pursue Trinity for a shot at, getting her back in the family. They have to accept the fact that Trinity is with the Lotus Collective, but if they lose, Trinity can freely leave and go with Yuki Marie. But the caveat to all this is that Yuki Marie has to accept that challenge. Because Yuki Marie, if you've seen her social media, has been less than favorable opinions on stipulations in matches like that. Those kind of stipulations. But here comes the notorious Kieva Andrews, a woman who is basically on her own island now. No Revy, no Lacey, no Carmen. It's just Kieva Andrews all by her lonesome. And Kieva has a huge match here. She's already lost to Carmen. She lost to Annie Cortez. And now the question is, what is next for Kieva? Where does she go from here? Can she live up? I mean, this is the question that Kieva has always had. She has main event potential written all over. A lot of people have seen that. She's a former Queen of the Deathmatch champion in SRW. She's a former Rising Star champion here in DCA. She's got all the tools to be a main event player here on the Wildcats roster. The problem is, she's sometimes gotten in her own way. But now, she's got nobody to blame that on but herself. Will she recognize that and mold herself into that main eventer that she has always said she could be and what everybody else has always said she could be? We will see. And maybe tonight is going to be the first step in that, facing a woman who has been everywhere and has done just about everything in Andy Jaiden. But yeah, back to that earlier challenge from the Lotus Collective. Suzuka basically said this match can happen, but it'll only happen when Yuki Marie accepts it and accepts the stipulations. Because again, Yuki Marie does not like, all or nothing type situations in matches. She doesn't like those kind of stipulations, and I think that's why the Lotus Collective put out that challenge to bait her in, more or less. Trying to bait that team into accepting, because they know that Yuki Marie is going to be less than hesitant, especially considering Yuki Marie right now has got more problems on her hands with Himiko over in UWL. If you didn't see the last episode of Charge, one, go back and watch it. But two, just how that whole situation has broken down. She's very distracted. She is a very distracted young woman right now. She's got that going on. She's got the Trinity thing going on. She's got people teasing her about having a boyfriend and a girlfriend, but that's neither here nor there. Much like her mother teasing her father, about the thing that I said was going to happen, and I still think it's going to happen. But again, that's neither here nor there. She's very distracted. And I could say the same thing a little bit in this point about Andy Jaiden. Because Andy is going in to this match against a woman in... Actually, no, I can't say that about Andy. I say that more about Destiny Williams, because I've seen more vulnerability in Destiny Williams in the last few months than I have ever seen in her entire career. Because she's going into a match at Prestige in one of the main events of Prestige 8 against the Queens of Wrestling champion Beatrix Decker. A Beatrix Decker, by the way, who's only been pinned 3 times in the last 3 years in VW. If that. Cover 2, no. She's only been pinned in the last 2.5 years, I think twice. And once was Fiona Lovelace. And you know how much that took out of her. It took damn near everything Fiona had left in her body to beat Beatrix. And now, a normal human being like Destiny Williams. See, Fiona is not normal. She got trained by Morgan Raycroft and Val Lika. You don't get that kind of training and call yourself a normal human being. Destiny, by the way, is a normal human being with, might I add, a knee injury that she should not be walking from at this very moment, but it's a miracle that she is. And you know Beatrix will take advantage of that, just like every other opponent has done in Destiny's matches since she got into this business. To say Destiny is a distracted woman right now would be an understatement. And Andy is going to take advantage of that at Death and Defiance, I guarantee it. As an elbow right to the back of the head of Kieva may have knocked her out cold. Cover 2 and no. Just a 2 count. And now Irish whip into the head, into the heel kick. Drop kick, no. Drop kick there, hit. Kieva saying anything you can do, I can do better. And now modified camel clutch with the knee dug right into the spine. And that's one way to ground the high flyer Andy Jaiden, is just to drive your knee right into the spine and wrench back as hard as you can. And Kieva has been a lot more aggressive over these last few months, ever since she came back and attacked Carmen Cortez, simply because of the fact that she felt like everyone had left her behind. She felt like people like Carmen, people like Kieva, people like Revy and Ruby Malone, they all left her behind. They all moved on without her. She was an afterthought, and that's why she did what she did. Cover by Andy, only a 2. And in a way, I can understand Kieva's frustrations. I can understand where she's coming from, because Kieva and Lacey were tag team champions together. They were one of the most dominant teams in this company. And now Lacey is off in Jeb's mind with a cult in the Neo Atrocious Alliance over in, UWL and Battle Pro. And Ruby is off somewhere. Revy is running WWA as part co-owner, and Carmen is in a blood feud, maybe even literally, with Heather Ray. So where does that leave Kieva? On the outside looking in, and that has been what she's been frustrated with. Missing the splash in the corner. And Andy's going to take advantage of that with a senton. And a second one. Andy trying to get the crowd pumped up, but oh, look at this. Kieva doing the smart thing and getting to the ropes. Andy now, look at that arm drag. Trying to pick the pace back up. And that drop kick will take anybody out. Coming up after this match, we are going to run down the Death and Defiance card, and we will hear from both Beatrix Decker and Ovanna Morgan before their title match. So that's coming up next as Kieva with a big fireman's carry into the side slam. There's two, but that's all she gets. And now Kieva trying to pick the pace back up. And now what is this? We've seen this before. Into the face buster. Nicely done. Just a 2 count. Kieva now going back up top. And frog splash. Not usually her forte, but she nailed it on that occasion. Just a 2 count again, though. And Kieva, you know she's going to look for that rebel yell, that discus lariat, but Andy Jaiden might be too quick. Big splash. And a pin. Not the best pinfall in the world, but it might be just to frustrate Kieva if anything else, because that in and of itself will cause Kieva to make a mistake that Andy can capitalize on. There's a tiger suplex. And now it's Andy being the one going to the ropes. Kieva did earlier, and Andy taking a page out of her book. But now it seems like Kieva is just going to go to the ground and pound. And one for the road. Kieva talking trash as well. A jawbreaker. Shot to the midsection. And back and forth we go once again, but wait. Andy caught the leg. And now Andy with another arm drag. Andy, look out. Big kick to the side of the head. And this might be it right here. 2, no. Again, just a 2. And now Andy up. Kieva back up to her feet, but no, Andy jumps off the ropes and head scissors takedown. But again, Kieva, that ring awareness, knowing where she is, able to go to the ropes, but it was not a safe haven. Not on that occasion. Off the ropes. Head scissors again. Nicely done. And now, what's this? Andy going for another one. No, this time she got caught. One too many times and dropped with a power bomb. 2, no. Kieva once again trying her best, but she cannot, it seems, keep up with the speed of Andy Jaiden. And that was the one thing that Kieva needed to avoid in this match, as Andy flying around the ring. And now the forearms connecting perfectly, connecting flush. And Kieva just sending Andy into the corner in a big splash. And now what's this? There's the frog splash again. 2, just a 2 count. What is Kieva? Well, I was going to say, what does she have to do? She just did it. A boot right to the jaw. 2 and no. And Kieva has got to be thinking, what do I have to do to put this woman away? I've tried everything at this point, and nothing has seemed to work. as you see right there. Missing the kick. Schoolgirl, cover, 1. No. Might have been too close to the ropes, or Andy kicked out. I went for the Rebel Yell and just got caught with a Spanish fly. Andy looking for Gravity's downfall, but went for the kick instead. Somersault kick, nobody there. And now this time away from the ropes with the Schoolgirl. Might have a bit of the tights there. I wasn't sure, and again gets caught. That's the second time she's tried for Rebel Yell, and the second time that she's got caught with a Spanish fly. Drop kick blocked. Kieva was able to get her forearms up. Cover. 2. No. Reversal by Andy. And now a reversal by Kieva. Backslide. Backslide, no. Off the ropes, Andy. No, catching her kick. No, missing that one. Rolls through. Into a wheel kick of her own. Combination offense by Andy Jaiden. Will that be enough? No, it will not. And you can see Andy now getting a bit frustrated. This has been a hell of a match between these two. Andy off the ropes, going for this again, but gets caught again with another power bomb. And now Kieva going up top. Missing the elbow. And now, again, this combination. Kieva can't prepare for it. Oh, but this time, Kieva just kicked back up. But Andy's going to keep trying to knock her back down. Ripcord. Into a single leg drop kick. Right on the button. Went for the kick, nobody there. Kieva, no, it's a jawbreaker. And a head scissors. And now, Andy up top, what's she thinking here? Diving headbutt. The elevation on that and the angle she used, but again, Kieva kicks out. This, again, like I said, a hell of a match. Our main event here on Wildcats. Chop. Another one. The Eddie Mack Memorial chops. Kieva trying to fire herself up, but Andy coming back. Kick avoided. Arm drag. Went for the kick another time. Rebel Yell countered. And now again, this combination connecting. Kieva cannot find a way to, oh my God. Did you hear that kick? In the corner, running in. Oh, another kick and a drop kick. And Kieva on the ropes, literally and figuratively. And what's this? Andy over the back and another heel kick. She cannot counter these kicks. And now what is this? Oh, man! Similar to the ice cream somersault that Sakura does. And now on Brett's rope. But Kieva getting up. Up. Rolls through. Chop. No. Again, Andy getting out of it. No. Both women going back and forth. And I think that was a throat thrust. Forearm. Goes for something. No. Kicks to midsection. Kick avoided. Again, these two women going back and forth. They know how important this matchup is, being the main event here. Neither woman can gain a sustained advantage. And now, oh, here we go. Drops her face first again. Going right into a cover. 2, no. And Kieva thinks she's got this thing wrapped up, and maybe she does, but she can't waste time. Oh, missed the boot. Andy with a roll up. 1, 2, no. Kieva reversing it. That could have been a classic Wayne K. Hayes pin struggle, but not to thee. Oh, Rebel Yell again avoided. Off the ropes. Andy clothesline. Another one. Going for this combination again. Ripcord. Single leg drop kick. And Kieva is down. But for how much longer? Again, going for this combination. And connects. If it works, it works. Don't fix what's not broken. There's another kick. And that one may have knocked Kieva out. She looks out of it. Oh, no, I may have spoken too soon. Kieva now. Schoolgirl roll up. 1, 2, no. And Kieva, no. Missed the boot. Off the ropes. Andy missing the drop kick. And getting one of her own from Kieva. And now what's this? Andy getting backed up. Andy off the ropes. No. Big boot by Kieva. And now Kieva, this could be it. Going for the Rebel Yell. No. Again, Andy. Drop kick. And just when Kieva's trying to get up to her feet. Bam. Right to the face. And now Andy going up top. Can she hit it? Gravity's downfall. 1, 2, got her. What a match between these two women, or women who haven't fought before. I said the same thing about the Miyako and Dani match. For women who haven't fought before, this was a hell of a match. Look at this. Rebel Yell avoided. Off the ropes for momentum. Hits the drop kick. And as Kieva was getting up to her feet, this enziguri right to the jaw, which lined her up perfectly for this toe touch moonsault that she likes to call Gravity's downfall. And if she hits that at Death and Defiance, Andy Jaiden will be 2-0 on Destiny Williams. But Destiny does not want that to happen. It could steal the show at Death and Defiance, folks. But coming up next, Beatrix Decker, Ovanna Morgan in the ring to give their final words before Death and Defiance.
What's up, guys? D-Wall here, and I wanted to thank you for watching another episode of DCA Wrestling. If you would, I'd like to take a moment to tell you about how you can support this channel and support me directly going forward, and that is through Patreon. For just $5 a month, you get early access to all kinds of different content, including the Flowcast, where I talk about wrestling, video games, and other things. And you get early access to my next big project, which is a Saints Row fan discusses Saints Row. My very first video essay where I discuss the entire Saints Row franchise and my thoughts on the matter. But also you get access to other kinds of content, including Let's Plays, walkthroughs, and early access to content before it goes out on YouTube. And most importantly, you directly impact me and this channel with your support, with your contribution. It's totally optional, as always, but any help is help nonetheless. And I thank you every single day for all of your support, because without you, none of this is possible. If you'd like more information, please head down to the link in the description and check it out. Patreon.com/DCA Gaming. Thank you, and let's get back to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are just a few short days away from Wildcats episode 230. It is our Death and Defiance special. Could be about maybe 3.5 hours. You know how these DCA shows go, but it is an episodic special and we cannot wait to present it to you. And we are going to run down, or I am going to run down, I should say, the card for that event. It's going to be a hell of a night. Again, it's a few days away. Here we go. Lauren Richfield, Jamie Fury, Celeste Mira, Barabellum. The winner will face Megan Van Horn at Shattered Midnight for the Goddess Championship. We talked about it a few moments ago. Destiny Williams, Andy Jaiden. Can Destiny stay focused to get her win on Andy Jaiden, or will Andy go 2-0 on Destiny? Suzuka of the Lotus Collective makes her first defense of the Fever title against former champion Ki Tae Young, the world's strongest. That should be a match for the ages. And speaking of which, no holds barred, Akira Yukimura makes her return to action after over 16 months against Akiko Nakano. This one is personal. And speaking of which, this one's also personal. Two members of the Succubus Club for the Wildcats title, Beatrix Decker, is going to be challenged by Ovanna Morgan for the Wildcats title. And the last time those two women fought was a couple of years ago at Gateway to Heaven. Both women were champions at the time, and Ovanna was the Wildcats champion. Beatrix was the Goddess champion, and that match did not have a conclusion. But now there are no more distractions in the way. Of course, Ovanna, though, has had her issues with Novocaine. We heard from her earlier. But Ovanna cannot focus on Novocaine. She said it best herself. Ovanna did. She's putting all her focus on this match, on getting the Wildcats title back. And afterward, if she becomes a 3-time Wildcats champion, whether she does or she doesn't, she is going back after Novocaine. She does not forget what happened when Nova attacked her friend Juliet Starling before there could even be any chance at a reconciliation between those two. And Ovanna wanted that. She wanted to talk to Juliet in the middle of the ring, and we could have seen a reconciliation between those two after everything they've been through. But Nova stole that from Ovanna, and now Ovanna, she has two things to deal with. Not only Novocaine, but facing someone she cares about, someone that means the world to her, and vice versa in Trixie Decker, for the belt that she says she loves the most, a belt that she felt she was robbed from the first time, a belt the second time that Hit Kid called a reign of spite, and it was very much so. If you knew what happened the first time she won the Wildcats title and how she lost it, the way she won it the second time, and the reign she had going during that, it was a spiteful reign. And when we questioned what kind of Ovanna we would see after she lost the title. And this has definitely been an Ovanna that hasn't been spiteful, but's been distracted by things out of her control. But for Beatrix Decker, she has not been distracted. This has probably been the most dominant that this woman has ever been. She had the Goddess title for over 2 years. No one's ever going to come close to beating that record. But then she went on at Redemption, and she beat Nicole Natasha so badly, so decisively. It wasn't even a contest. It was more like a snuff film, if anything. To the point where Beatrix herself got into the ambulance. Nicole didn't force her into it. Beatrix willingly walked into that ambulance. And the reason she walked into that ambulance, and I maintain this to this day, if you know Beatrix, you know I'm right about this. She walked into that ambulance and shut that door and willingly gave Nicole that belt because she knew that that would be the most embarrassing, humiliating win of Nicole's career. She wanted to embarrass her, she wanted to humiliate her, she wanted to destroy her, she wanted to break her, and that's exactly what she did. And we have not seen or heard from Nicole since that night. And guess what she did a month later? A month later, she went on to the anniversary show and won the Wildcats title. Whether Akira helped her or not, she won that belt. And now she is the top woman on the Wildcats brand. The thing she wanted all along. The thing that she said VW robbed her of. The thing that she said she kept getting screwed out of. She said she wasn't getting taken as a threat. People just saw her for one thing and that's it. Discarded her. Kept throwing her away. But now, look at her. She's the top woman on the brand. And no one can take that away from her except maybe one person, and that's Ovanna Morgan, and she's got that chance in a few days. We're going to hear from both women right now. Both women giving their final words to each other. And it's like Beatrix said, she loves her, but she won't be the one. Will she be though? We'll see at Death and Defiance.